Okay, in this video we're having a look at the UMEVO Note AI, which is a tiny little device that leverages ChatGPT to convert audio into text in a variety of languages. So I'm constantly taking personal notes and taking notes during online calls and business meetings. So when UMEVO asked if I wanted to give this a test, I was really keen to give it a go and see what it could do. So in terms of pricing, it's usually priced at £124, and currently it's 25% off in their Black Friday sale, so it's currently £93, and I've left a link in the description so you can kind of check that out. So the first thing you notice about the unit is it's just super lightweight, thin body. It only weighs 30 grams, and part of that is due to the kind of the clever design with the charging port that they've gone with. They've got this nice magnetic charging port on there, similar to kind of like a smartwatch. And to charge it, you just get this cable included. So, you know, it's a USB-C-A cable, but it also comes with an adapter to USB-C, which is great because I don't actually have any USB-A ports on my laptop, so it's useful for me. And also, we'll kind of come to it later, but you can also plug it into kind of a device directly. When it's plugged in, you kind of get, there's a little battery indicator on here, and you can kind of see it. It's a very tiny screen, but I'll see if I can go onto there. So you can kind of see at the top, you just get this little indicator at the top to tell you the battery life. It takes, when I got it, it was 50% charged, but it takes about an hour and a half to charge from empty, and you get a 40-hour battery life. So to use the device, you can either use it as a standalone device, or you can connect it to the app. So using the app gives you all the abilities to obviously do all the kind of text translations and things. So you do need the app at some points, but you can record the audio just with the device on its own, which is really nice because I don't always want to have my phone out during meetings and things like that. So it's nice that you can actually use this independently. What I'll do is I'll leave just an overlay video of how to kind of download the app and everything. It's fairly simple. You just kind of scan the QR code. You get a link to the app, which is available for Android or iOS. I've got the Android app here, and then you just need to make sure that your Bluetooth is switched on your kind of phone or tablet or whichever device you're trying to connect. And kind of once you get to that point, we can get onto kind of the interface of this, which is incredibly simple. You know, we've got our charging port, which we talked about, and then we've literally got a slide switch and one button. So the one button, you can hold it down, and then you can see that's recording. Press it again. It was too short to save it, but that's what it does. If you hold it down, you can see it switches off. It just says bye-bye and switches off. Hold it down again. Does the opposite, just switches it on. It will just say welcome. And by default, it just says record when you're kind of slid onto this side. You slide it back that way, you'll see this kind of little red part to it. So when it's on the red side, it's on call. They're slightly different modes. You've got like the note-taking mode is the slide to the right. Call mode is slide to the left. And that's kind of the whole interface, really. It is incredibly simple. For the call mode, you get this kind of additional accessory, which is like just like a little leather pouch for it, and you can kind of slide this into there. One small gripe I kind of have with this is the pouch for it is very, very tight for the unit. I mean, you wouldn't want it to be loose where the unit was falling out, but sometimes it can be quite hard to kind of get that back out. But it's quite a nice little accessory because it's actually like completely magnetic. So you can stick it to the back of a phone. So if you want to use the call mode on it, it's really good for that. And the call mode is kind of set up so it removes things like vibrations and, you know, other things that might happen during a call. I mean, I mostly just use it for the note-taking mode, but it can be very useful. And if you don't have a magnetic phone, you get this kind of sticky mag ring. So, you know, you can stick that onto the back of here, and then obviously just remove the sticker and stick it onto your phone case or whatever it is you want to kind of stick it onto, and you can see it sticks on there very tightly. So it's it's quite a nice little option for it. So one thing you kind of might think is, well, why don't you just use the mics on the phone and just record it through there and then kind of do it all that way, which Obviously, you can do that, but really what you're paying for with this device is the fact that it is incredibly good as a recording device. So I'm probably not going to be able to do it, but there's two mic ports on the top of this, which I'm sure they're going to go in and out of focus. You could probably just about see them kind of there, and they are really, really good for kind of picking up sound. It's incredibly clear. It cuts out lots of background noise. I mean, they say the mics work to up to 10 meters. I mean, I use them in my office up to kind of 3-4 meters away, and they are really, really good. I've used them in busy meetings in kind of restaurants and pubs and all kinds of things, and it does actually pick the audio out very clearly. So that's really nice that you can kind of use it in a busy environment, and also that I don't always have to get my phone out, because I don't always have it connected to the app or have my phone out with it. I'll just take this out and, you know, I can put it on the table, I can have it in my pocket, whatever. It will record pretty nicely as long as it's fairly clear and, you know, it's able to do it. And in terms of storage, it's really nice as well, because there's no like fiddly micro SD cards or anything like that. It's got 64 gig of internal storage, which is about 400 hours of audio on it. So, you know, it's easy to just put it on there, clear it off when you don't need it. You know, it's like it holds tons and tons of audio. So when you're connected to the app, you can actually do it two ways. You can actually just hit record in the app. So you can see down here, if we just hit the mic button, brings up our main menu. We've got start recording, import audio, OTG import, which is basically we can do, like I say, if I'm not using my phone at the same time, which often, like I say, I don't, I'll just have this because I don't really like having my phone out during meetings and things. You can actually plug it into there if it doesn't sync back up when you've got the app on. But most of the time it just syncs the files back into the app that I've found anyway. So it takes a little bit of time. It's not quite as quick. You can kind of see up here, this is one that I recorded independently. It's got a little tab in the corner, like a red one, and it says download. So it's on the device, but it's not on the app yet, but I could download it on there if I wanted to. I've cleared off most of the notes on here. There's only a few on here from like a couple of days. So it's there's one that's kind of been imported through to there. But what we can do is just press the mic button, and then you can see on here we can kind of do just start recording. We can hit start. You can resume it at any point, and you've got the save button there, and you can probably just about see on here, again, apologies for focus, we've got this little kind of audio bit, and the screen switches itself off after a while, but you can flick it back on. You can just see it's got that. One thing I would have liked on both of these is for the waveform to actually kind of follow the words a little bit. But it's just a generic waveform that just runs through, which it's not any kind of deal breaker, but it's just like it would have been quite nice to actually see the waveform on there that's like the accurate waveform. And then once you're done with it, you can either take pauses and stuff, you can come back into it, and once you're done, you just hit save, and that's kind of your note recorded there. And then, like I say, we can come back into this, and then you can come in and you can listen to it. And then there you go. So it's just me talking. So what you can do now, when you're kind of into this and you've recorded it, you can come in, you can do things like take the summary template. I mean, it's just me talking and nobody else. So we can kind of do bits like that, but you can kind of generate this. It doesn't take too long. It's fairly quick. I mean, that's a very short audio recording. It's only 40 seconds long, but the summaries are actually fairly quick to generate. So I've actually found that the transcriptions for this, they're pretty accurate, to be honest. The even with my voice, which is quite kind of mumbly, it's pretty good. The only things that I'll sometimes find with it is you'll get things like if you leave too much of a pause, it'll add a full stop kind of like mid-sentence. And obviously like split that sentence then slightly wrong, but the word accuracy is really good. And one thing actually that's really good in it, if you're talking in currency and things like that, sort of if you say £50, it will do that in actual currency, which is quite nice. I think that's quite a nice little touch to it. So there's some good little parts to it, really. And then you can see here we've got this is kind of like the summary that is made for it. So you can see the all the notes there from what I've done. And then it's got this. So this is like the full thing from it. So you get kind of like a full transcription, a summary of it. And then also it makes these mind maps, which for this, not super useful, but you know, it's yeah, for some things it can be useful for meetings and things like that. I'm not sure how well you can kind of see any of that, but it's all really kind of easy to do. You know, it's like a one-touch kind of generate from it. And if there are any bits in there that are kind of wrong, you can just go in and you can edit anything that's not right. So it's nice and easy. Like I say, it seems to generally be pretty accurate. There are just usually a couple of bits in there that maybe I'll have to tidy up. And then on top of that, you can do things like translate the notes into different languages and things like that. And when you're happy with like your summaries and transcripts and all those kinds of things, you can export them in kind of a variety of files like TXT, Markdown, DocX, PDF, and you can even export the audio files. So it's really good if somebody wants a copy of, you know, meeting notes, something like that. Really easy to just like generate them, save them, share them. You know, you can just do the whole thing out of the app. It's really, really good. Also, like you can actually kind of organize things into folders, and you know, so if I've got a couple of meetings in one day or a few meetings, I can organize stuff all down nicely. I can, you know, have it all in a way that I want it, like all nicely ordered. So yeah, I mean, in summary, I mean, I've been finding this really helpful to kind of have on my desk. I've been recording meetings and all different things with it, so it's been really good. It's easy to just throw in my laptop bag, hit record when I need it. Like I say, I can do easy transcripts and things from it, send them off to people from meetings. And yeah, there's a couple of little kind of bits in the app and stuff that, you know, sometimes it will start recording and you kind of don't want that clip, but you have to save it, like you can't kind of delete it. But they're only little minor things that will probably get fixed in the app throughout time. So yeah. And I mentioned my kind of like slight gripe with the case, but again, it's not a kind of deal breaker. And like I say, I prefer it as a standalone anyway, so I can just kind of have it in a pocket or put it on the table, or you know, just have it. It's convenient. It's really easy to kind of just take out and use. And one thing that's worth mentioning, all the transcriptions are free in the first year, completely free, you know, for the entirety. But then in the second year, you do actually have a limit on them, which sounds a little bit worrying, but you get 400 minutes included in each year. So, I mean, that's actually only just over a minute a day. But you can buy another 600 minutes for $2.59 as a one-off payment. And that's kind of valid for 2 years. So it's not really too bad, to be honest, in terms of, you know, the kind of top-ups for it. And you probably won't be using it every day. But, you know, in general, as kind of like a little assistant tool, I found it really useful. You know, if you were kind of like a student or someone taking notes in lectures, this would be super useful. It's really useful for taking meeting notes and things like that. And it's helpful just for taking kind of general notes and just making them into something that you can view easily, you know, in a summary or a mind map or whatever it may be. It's really useful for that. So yeah, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe.